All right, let's kick this off. Hi, it's Brawdy, and I want to thank you for stopping by and taking some time to check us out. I also want you to know that we're posting this quick little riff as a speed bump to my new website, simply out of respect for you and your time. So think of this really more as a warning message than a welcome mat. Where most websites today are begging you to leave your email address, I'm asking you not to, at least not just yet, because chances are pretty good. You and I may not want to hang out together. Bits of what you've heard of me are true, in that I'm very proud of the fact that if this site were a book, tons of people would be boycotting, some even trying to ban and burn it. And if being a fan of that trifecta, if really loving my hate mail makes me an acquired taste, c'est la vie. I've been studying for over 30 years now what it takes to make a mind impeccably human, what it takes to optimize human potential to its ultimate level. Pretty lofty ambition, born out of one of the lowest times in my life. When I left the medical examiner's office immediately following my father's suicide, I needed to know what would compel a human mind to take its own life. In Shakespeare's Hamlet, to be or not to be, why would a mind actively opt for the latter? And through all that legwork, I've been able to uncover exactly what it takes. No Pollyanna nonsense, no pseudo-spirituality, but exactly what it takes for you to be able to hone your head, to embrace your heart, to answer life's call as you hear it, to fashion your life in any way you see fit. Now, I've studied 10,000 hours at least 4 times over in the investigation, doing everything I can. I guess it's fair to say, as an ex-New York cop, as an ex-crime scene investigator, the hunt is still in my blood. So what I'd like to do at this site is really one quick thing. Remind you who you ultimately are, and also what your place is in this world, because it's a pretty cool world to be in. Gary Vaynerchuk is right to ask us to step back and think about just how cool it is to have been born during this era. But here's the downside. A lot of people hearing this message, like 95.5% of those listening to this video right now, aren't a fan of you and I optimizing our human potential. They're very comfortable in their everyday averageness. They're very comfortable actively refusing to personally thrive. So what I want to do is a website that reminds you of who you ultimately are. Jen Sincero was right when she calls you a badass. Jason Silva's got a great take. He's spot on when he calls you cosmic poetry. You are the actual fruition of the universe. You're a fractal of that ubiquitous energy and ambition, and that's going to mean a lot of people aren't very excited. We hear this whole saying, misery loves company. Well, that's true. I'm telling you right now that a huge chunk of people are betting against you bringing your brilliance, you bringing your own bold. Now, this is far from a motivation website. Matter of fact, since we're stepping on a few toes, if you're looking for an overly caffeinated mototainment expert jumping around on stage, promising you the world, the answer to all your prayers, the ham-clapping gymnastics of a go-go dancer, all the bells, whistles, and flashing lights of a Las Vegas slot machine, chances are pretty good this website isn't for you. Because here's what I've discovered. If you need to be motivated, if you need to be inspired, you've simply forgotten who you are. And those people that can recall who they are, the last thing they need is to outsource their enthusiasm. As we move forward, my goal is to simply remind you of who you are. Think about it. Big bang or big breath. Whether you were evicted from the Garden of Eden or you evolved off the savannas of Africa, you have grit in your blood. You are the great grandchild of the divine, however you describe it. And as that descendant, you come with all that natural power. I call it all natural being. You have all that power encoded in you. So stop letting people suggest that you should live the watered down version. What we want to get to is the unfiltered, the unfabricated, the pre-watered down, the all natural you. Because when it comes to living a blockbuster life, it begins when we get back to your basics, your pinnacle rooted in your primitive, your excellence encoded in your very essence. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Before we do, I want to remind you of what Steve Jobs said. He said, when it comes to matters of the heart, you'll know it when you feel it. Or we'll throw in Albert Camus, and he called it facts the heart can feel. So if any of this speaks to you, if any of it grabs you, if you're interested in the concept of reintroducing yourself to the coolest parts of you, if you're interested in reviving your all-natural being, if you're interested once again in being impeccably human, and who wouldn't want that for themselves, now would be the time to go ahead and leave your email. I look forward to hanging out with you right after you do, and we've got some pretty cool things for those people that leave their email. Thanks so much for hanging out for this quick little riff.